Hi, my name is Britton, and I'm a Christian who loves YouTube. I watch it all the time, way more than I read my Bible. But hopefully doing this series will help me fix that. I was watching Shane Dawson's Beautiful Life of Jeffree Star series, and amidst all the drama, audio stings, and the highly pigmented eyeshadows, there was one moment that stuck out to me.
I just have never been that smart with investing money, or I've never been a smart business person.
Well, you're not a money-driven person.
That's a pretty strange way to start a multi-hour long series all about the pursuit of money. And I have to say, if this series had come out a few years ago, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. Someone's rich, and they try to get richer. What else are they gonna do? But watching it now got me thinking, what does God think about this urge to accumulate more? Can the Bible tell me? If you haven't watched the full series, a little context. Shane Dawson is an OG YouTuber who now mainly profiles other famous YouTubers in long multi-part series. His subject for this one, Jeffree Star, is an internet personality who, through his YouTube channel, built up his makeup company Jeffree Star Cosmetics into a multi-million-dollar business. This series is their second collaboration. Something that people are really talking about lately is the existence of billionaires and wealth hoarding, which is basically getting more and more wealth, not just money, but property, cars, companies, anything that has financial worth, and utilizing it only in a way that generates more wealth for you or your company investors. Billionaires get called out on this because once you reach a certain number of dollars, you basically have more wealth than you could ever spend in your entire lifetime. Or you and your kids and their kids' lifetime because of compound interest. And I'm really curious what the Bible says about this.
Now listen, you rich people, weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you. Your wealth has rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days.
Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm worried about James. I think he wants to build some guillotines. Now, neither Shane nor Jeffree Star are anywhere close to being billionaires, and that's not shade. If you combine all the projected wealth of all the YouTubers on the Forbes list Shane talks about, as a group, they're still not even close to $1,000 million, which is what it takes to be a billionaire. But they are rich. After lamenting how little money he has compared to other YouTubers, Shane even makes a joke about how well off his life is.
I'm poor. Are you charging the golf cart that
And we also find out in episode 4 that even before the palette is released, Shane and his fiancée, now husband, have already bought a new house.
So, we're selling our house right now. We haven't been back to this house since the day we moved, just months ago.
And there's this moment that I thought was really emotionally raw, where Shane realizes that he's been shortchanged on merch for most of his career.
So, throw up.
I mean, look at it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Sucks.
I mean, this is a good thing, though.
I've been getting Oh. Thank you, I needed that.
But in response to Shane's embarrassment and shame over being undercut, Jeffree says this.
I'm mad. I'm gonna call a lot of people.
You could have already bought up 2 houses.
And that very specifically reminded me of this parable from Luke 12:16 through 21. And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. Then he said, this is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God. And this gives us some insight into God's view of this whole thing. The rich man isn't displeasing to God because he directly cheated or sinned to obtain his riches, but his first instinct, being to just hold on to his wealth and use it for his own pleasure, is the problem. And that ending actually echoes a sentiment that gets repeated several times in the Bible. Matthew 6:19 through 21. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And it's almost eerie how this exact scenario happens in episode 3 of the series.
Side note.
Hey, you're gonna ring for the Hoarders, right? I woke up today and $1 million of product was stolen from my warehouse last night.
They came in through the roof.
Yeah. So once they figured out where they were going to drop in, they used a saw, literally cut a person-sized hole in the roof, dropped down to the landing. Were able, from that point, unfortunately, able to access the security room and ripped out the alarms.
They cut everything.
Oh my god.
Very
Stole it.
professional.
Yeah.
And then they stole everything.
But the theft gives both he and Shane a taste of that biblical warning. And this isn't an isolated idea. God often warns the rich not to invest too much in wealth because of the sheer inconsistency of life. Proverbs 23, 4-5. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Do not trust your own cleverness. Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. And looking at these verses, I can see how a rich person might get nervous. Wait, but if riches can disappear, then shouldn't I hold on to them so I have something to fall back on the day that I need them? But I think any Christian who thinks this way is really missing an essential call to action that God has placed on the rich. 1 Timothy 6, 17-19. Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life. And I want to make it clear, I don't think Jeffrey or Shane are wealth hoarders. At least not the kind who are ruining society. But I think the urge to make a lot of money and secure an extremely comfortable future for ourselves is one we should look at as Christians. Researching this episode brought me into reading a lot of scriptures about money, and it got me thinking, what if you don't have a barn? We've already seen that God tells us not to wear ourselves out to get rich. What are you supposed to do if you're born into this world a barnless child? Is it wrong to work for a barn at all? Oh no. Is there going to be a second episode?